Hello Tech Genius, I am Ravi. Have you ever imagined a place where learning is as dynamic as the technology shaping your world? Then here's a deal. With iMatix, you can make sure the learning is exciting, impactful right from the beginning. You have interactive sessions with expert-led courses. In the world of tech, from data science to cloud computing, it's not just about a session, it's about doing, building, learning by solving real problems. So let's get started. We have certain types of security groups, and primarily we'll be mostly using two security groups. One is user-based, the other one is role-based security groups. And we also cover job-based security. These are the three security groups that we'll be covering as part of security. User-based security group, role-based security group, and job-based security. They are mostly primarily used as security groups. I can say, if you are aware of confining the security group security and the permissions to the security groups based on these understanding of policies, if you're able to configure security groups, you should be able to handle any other security groups that we have. Probably we have integration security groups. When you're developing integration, you can attach that security groups with required permissions. When you're aware of all these things, probably you should be doing the rest of other activities as well. User-based security groups. Error administrator. Is a user-based security group that can be attached at user level, which will provide all the access of HR data, all the employee data, editing, configuring anything related to HR transactions. HR administrator as a security group that will be provided. Mostly all the HRs, where they'll be performing core HR transactions, will be having this access, and Workday team will be having this access. This provides all the HR related activity permissions. HR administrator is a super user for HR module. Core HR, any transaction, anything related to HR transactions from core HR can be managed by HR administrator. HR administrator will be a super user for HR module. Payroll administrator. Payroll administrator with the security group that manages payroll information. Whoever attached it to this payroll administrator, user-based security group will be having access to handle payroll data of all the employees across the organization. Payroll administrator will be managing all the pay information. This is a user-based security group attached to payroll team and Workday team, because these two on the team will be supporting payrolls in application. Benefits administrator. Benefits will provide access to all the benefit areas in Workday. Benefits team, Workday team will be getting this access. They will be taking care of all the benefits related activities. Similarly, we have other module like recruiting administrator, talent administrator, learning administrator, other module, owner module, administrator, security groups we can create. These are standard recommended security that we'll be creating as part of user-based security group. We will create the security groups and will be attaching the user who will be able to get permissions to that particular area. User-based security group is just a kind of manual task. You need to attach the security groups manually to users. You're not attached to every user. You're not given admin related permissions to every user. Only intended business team will be having access to that particular security group and Workday team will be getting this access. No other regular team members will be getting administrator related access because this provides wide access in that particular area. Payroll administrator. Payroll administrator will be having an access to view all the pay information. Deductions, taxes, what are all the deduction that employee had, tax information, calculations, everything. This payroll administrator should be able to perform and also should be able to view the information. Similarly, benefit administrator will be having access to perform any kind of, allocate any kind of benefit elections to employees, enroll employees into benefits plans and their dependents into benefit plans. Get them benefits through Workday. All these things in the benefit administrator will be doing. Similarly, other areas, security will be performing that level of access to the employees. User-based security group is the first and foremost security group that will be getting access to all the areas of Workday to whatever permissions that we have given. And this will be assigned at user level. Role-based security group. Role-based security group. I think you should have seen by this time when we are creating supervisory organizations. We used to assign manager role to the person, right? That is nothing but role-based security group. Role-based security group is a kind of security group that can be attached at organization levels. And the specialty of the security group is it will be getting inherited. It will be getting inherited from top level organization to downstream subordinate organizations. When we were discussing the supervisor organization hierarchy, what are all the steps that will be getting inherited? Roles, location, staffing model. What else will be getting inherited? Assignments. Along this roles is one thing which will be getting inherited, right? The security that you will be assigning as part of roles will be getting inherited from superior organization to subordinate organization. Role-based security group is not a manual task. It can be assigned at org level. It can be assigned at supervisor organization level, which will get inherited. And if you wanted to restrict access to any specific organization level, that is a kind of manual task. But when you are creating a role, you need to specify where you wanted to use this role. Let us say if you wanted to use this role at company level, when you are creating a role, you will be specifying that you wanted to use this role at company level, that you can attach this role at company for an employee. Let us say HR is there. HR who manages India operations. We will need access to perform staffing transactions or hiring transactions only for India employees. In this scenario, what we will do, we will create a role for HR, making that can be used at company level. We will be creating HR role at company level. And when we assign this role to that particular person who manages India hiring, we will be giving India company the role that we have created. For that specific company, India, this role will be performing all the required transactions. We will give permissions to perform all the HR transactions that is specific to India. For roles also, you will be giving permissions. For user-based security groups also, you will be giving permissions. For job-based also, you will be giving permission. That is a common thing. But the way of assigning these two employees is a little different between security groups. This one, you will go and manually assign this one. For this one, first you need to have a role to be created and role to be assigned to the security group, and the security group will be given permissions based on that. That role can be assigned at organization level or at any the supervisor organization, which will get inherited to down jumps of one organization. And similarly for job, if employee is director, if employee job level is director, for director, these permissions should be coming by default. What you will do, you will be creating a job-based security group. Select job levels and give permissions to that security group, that whoever are categorized in the job security groups will be getting those permissions. Even this is a kind of manual task. User-based security is a manual task. Role-based security group. Also, when you are assigning the security at organization level, you will be manually assigning. But automatically, if you are not assigning, if it is there at supervisory organization level, which is superior organization by default, that will be inherited downstream subordinate organization. If you wanted to break that, you can edit the organization and remove the role and add the one that you wanted to have. That you can do. That we already discussed in supervisory organizations. What does role-based security groups does? The role-based security groups at org level will be inherited and can be restricted based on constraint versus unconstrained security group that you will be having. Constrained role-based security group and unconstrained role-based security group. Whichever you wanted to create, you can actually select that one. And job-based security group. Job-based security group, you will have constrained, unconstrained, job-based security group. Constrained versus unconstrained. You will be selecting a job, and to any specific job, if you already give specific permissions, you can give those permissions. Let's say for job level, Vice President. Vice President should be accessing these permissions by default. When you have that requirement from business, you will be actually giving those permissions. Based on job level, management level, job profile, job classification. you can actually define the security. Management level 90 to 100 management level should have these permissions. All Workday job profile should be getting these permissions. All Workday job classification should have these permissions. There are such kind of requirement. You will be creating a job-based security group. Configure all the management level that should be part of the security groups and give permissions to that security group. Similarly, Workday Senior Developer and Workday Developer, Workday Lead Developer are in this Workday job profiles. All these job profiles, people who are under this job profile should have similar access. If there is a case you will be creating a job-based security groups, take those job profiles, group those job profiles into security group and give permissions to the security group, job-based security group, that will provide access to these three positions, these three job profiles. People who are occupied for these job profiles, they will be getting these permissions. Similarly, job classification as well. This job-based security group is simple. These are the three mainly used security groups in Workday. Whatever permissions that we will be giving at roles, let us say manager role is there. For manager, what is the role that we will be giving? Anything related to team management, approvals, and all we will be giving. If we are giving supervisory organization superior level, if you are giving manager as a kind of role to any person, if you are not giving manager role at subordinate level, the top level permissions whoever will be having. Let us say I am managing Workday HRIS organization. I will be having all the access related to HR partner. HR partner is a kind of role-based security group that been assigned and manager role that been assigned for me for that superior organization that I am managing. Now, when subordinate organization that is getting created under me, what are the roles that will be getting inherited? Both HR partners and managers will be getting inherited to subordinate organizations. Whatever permissions to these roles manager and HR partner have, automatically these two roles with the permissions attached will be inherited to subordinate organization. But if you wanted to, let us say I am the manager, my level of access is different. And person who is reporting to me as a kind of subordinate, that level of access is different. Here there will be a kind of manager, role is same for everyone. Even for a director, senior director, CEO manager, because CEO also will be manager for one of the organization. People who will be reporting to CEO, CEO will be managing those two members. This manager security group is common. Whatever permissions that will be given to manager, security groups will be common, which every manager will have. That will be getting inherited to this one. But HR partners there? HR partner might be, since I am a manager, I am a superior of all the Workday team, I might be getting HR partner role, which will give additional access for me to perform HR related tasks. But the person who is actually reporting to me, who is maintaining subordinate organization, that person does not require HR partner role, just a manager will be requiring. In that case, what we will do, the HR partner and manager roles will be getting inherited. We will manually remove that HR partner role for the subordinate organization who will be reporting to me. From there, Any other organization that are creating under the subordinate organization who is reporting to me will not get inherited with HR partner role. Only manager role will be getting. Permissions also will be getting inherited because permissions will be attached to roles. Obviously, the permissions also will be getting inherited. But you can break at any point of time. If you think that that role is not required for that person, you can remove that role by going into an employee profile. What we will do is we will try to test these scenarios now. We will try to create user-based security group and we will see what permissions can be assigned to that. And based on that, how that person who will be associated with permissions will get visibility to those activities based on the permissions that we will be giving. Similarly, role also. What we would do is we will take one employee choice, or we will remove all the security access that this person has and we will assign our security and see how does this work. First, we'll see user-based security groups are there or not. User-based security does not have should be good for us. And role-based security groups. We will see. Even roles also. Nothing this person have. What I'll do is I'll create one user-based security group. Role-based security group constrained versus unconstrained, which means that the role that you are assigning to the person will be restricted permissions to specific organizations. If you are going for unconstrained, will not restrict. Now we are worried of user-based security group which will be assigned at user level. We'll name it as HR. I've used all the names. What we used people. People is nothing but HR, right? People operations administrator. Operations administrator. People operations administrator. And kind of name because I've used HR administrator. I've used HR operations administrator. Most of the names I've already used. I'm giving people operators administrator as a name for security groups. Every security group must be administered by the super user that we have in this tenant. That if there is anything wrong with that security group, the say administrator security group will be taking care of handling the security of the security group. Mostly security administrator will be administering most of the security in Workday. Some of you have security group that we have created people operations administrator, administered by security administrator. If there is anything that the security group wanted to control or manage the security group will be having permissions to take care of that, because we have given the security group as a administered security group. Now what we need to assign people: operations administrator should have all the access related to workers, because it's nothing but HR administrator, right? Similar to HR administrator, we are trying to have all the access related to workers. These people operations administrator should have. To give permissions to the security group, go to the security group, maintain domain permissions for the security groups, which is nothing but you are giving domains. You are giving domain permissions. What is domain permissions? What is domain security policy? You are allowing the security group to view or modify the information. If you are assigning worker personal information, you are making the security group who will be attached to the people. They will be getting an access to view the data for personal information. At the same time, if you are giving modify access, this will give more access to personal information. Similarly, we will be giving all the access related to worker, the security group, both view and modify, which will be giving most of the access that is required. Security group, maintain domain permissions for the security group. What do you need to give? View and modify, which is nothing but domain security permissions. Just give workers, which will be getting all the domains related to worker. Worker data active employees. This will provide access to this domain, provide access to reporting information about active workers. All the active worker information this domain provides to view that information does not include terminated employees. If you are assigning, this will provide you access to view active employee information, but does not provide access to view terminated employees. Similarly, worker data all positions. This will provide access to all the positions that are available in the system. This domain provide access to the position and their details. Provide access to all the positions that are created in the system. If you are getting these permissions, this security group called people operations administrator will have access to view all the positions that are creating in the system. Worker data benefits. This will provide access to view all the benefit information of an employee. This domain provide access to employee benefit enrollments, all the benefits related enrollments, selections, anything related to benefits. This security domain will be getting the permissions. Similarly, we have a lot of other permissions also which will be getting similar worker data compensation. All the compensation related information of an employee will be providing this information. If you are giving this domain, this will allow permissions to view or modify the compensation. If you are giving in modify access, since we are creating people operations administrator, kind of super user for HR, we will try to get all these permissions. I am giving all the permissions related to worker to the security group. I have selected all the security groups. When you are giving modify automatically, that will give you access also. When you are giving view access, that will not give modify access, because when you have view access only you will be able to modify data when you are giving. When you wanted to edit the personal information first, you wanted to view that and edit that automatically. When you give modify access, that will defaultly give you access. But if you wanted to just give view access but not modify access, you can let us say, if I wanted to have this AC identifiable data to be view but not modify, I will remove that modify. I will add this here in view access. That this AC identifiable data will be just view access but will not be able to modify. What this domain will be giving permissions. This domain provide access to worker data AC identifiable data information. AC is nothing but Offered Care Act, kind of term that we call in Workday Offered Care Act, which is nothing but in US we have 1095 and 1094 document processing. Like how here we will be validating our other or passport kind of things. Similarly, in US 1094 and 1095 documents will be validated and offered. CARE Act is a kind of agency that will be taking care of that. When you are giving permissions, the security will be able to handle that information but not modify, just view. If you are giving modify access, that will by default give you access. If you are giving just view access, that will not give modify access. Just try to get this understanding. Now we have given all the worker related permissions. Clicking on this, now we have people, the operations administrator, assigned with all the worker related security. But the moment you assign and click on it does not mean that these people, operations administrator, will be getting all this access. We need to activate the security once you assign any security to any of the security group in any of the business process security permissions. If you are assigning to any security group, you need to activate that. Then only your security will be effective. There is a task called Activate Pending Security Policy Changes. We have given all the R related security to people operations, administrator security group. Now we are activating this. The moment you activate, all the security will be becoming effective to that people, operations administrator security group. When that security group goes for any person, that person will be getting access to those security groups. When you actually activate it, it will ask you, are these the permission that you assigned to people? Operations administrator. Click on confirm. Automatically, wherever the business process will be there, automatically those BP security policies also will be assigned. Now clicking on. Now people operations administrator have all the access related to worker. Now what do you need to do? You need to assign the security group to a person to make sure that this is giving access to certain data. Not certain data. Any data in HR. But not related to payroll, not related to compensation or not. Now, what was the security? What was the person that we were trying to test? Joy. This person does not have any security group. Will try to proxy this person and see what this person is able to view. Based on that, before and after, we will be having clear visibility what the security. Now my proxy does Joy as R and I will try to access Amit's profile. Clicking on this is not giving any information. You can see everything is blank. If I am going to job, nothing blank. If I am going to contact, nothing. Performance, nothing. Career, nothing. Because there is no security assigned to this person. Joy is R. That is the reason why she is not able to view anything here. We have seen blank security. There are no roles, there are no user-based security group assigned to this Joy. That is the reason why she is not able to view any information of an employee. Now we will try to proxy out, assign her some permissions with the people operations administrative that we have created and see what will be the difference between after and before the security groups. Now, since we have not assigned this, there is nothing that she can view here. Now I am proxying out. I need to assign her the security that we have created and then test that security. There is a security, assign user-based security. It is a task. What is the function of user-based security group? It is a manual assignment. It can be assigned at user level. People operations admin. Now we have assigned these permissions. The security group which will give all the access that we have assigned. Now let us proxy again and then access any of the employee. Perfect. You will see the different stuff. Now you can see most of the information. You can see you are able to see all the job information, supervisory business, everything you are able to see. Earlier, you are not able to see because there was no security. Since now we have assigned the security, can view compensation also. You can see most of the information totally. What compensation? Earlier we were not having this information, but now at least we were able to see different tabs. Personal information, contact information. We should be seeing everything related to this information. This is completely based on the security that you are assigning. Since we have assigned user-based security group, this is Joyce. Joyce can access any employee data in the system. Scott is from different organization, but Joyce's is assigned with the user-based security group, which will be providing access across the tunnel. This can access all the information related to this, can access compensation of Scott, can access contact information of Scott, anything, whatever data is there. Because Joyce has certain permissions, she can access all the information to all the employee data that are there in the system. Now, since we have assigned user base, security group Joyce is able to access all the information based on the permission that we have given. If you are assigning payroll related permissions to the same people operations administrator, she will be able to manage payroll information as well. But we have not given payroll related permissions because HR operations administrator will have only access to view HR data. But if there is a request, the same person will be also accessing payroll information. You can attach those permissions to the security that you have created, or you can take that specific user-based security group and attach to your profile. It works. Now I'm proxying out to test for role-based security group. In order to test role-based security group, to test effectively, I'm removing the security group assigned for the Joyce. Probably when we are doing, we can remove that one and test. Now, in order to create a role-based security group, we first need to have a role. I'll be creating people partner as a role. Create security group. Sorry, you need to have first role, right? Maintain assignable role as a task. First, we need to have a role. Then that role will be getting the permissions based on the role-based security that will be attaching to that. People operations partner. I'm giving this as a kind of role. Where I wanted to use this role, I wanted to use it company. I wanted to use it company. Cost center. Supervisory organization I wanted to use, but you can select anything based on your requirement. These are the three organizations I wanted to restrict this security. That's the reason why I've taken this one. And again, you need to give who would be the administrator for this role. Obviously, security administrator would be administrator which you can give. We have created people operations partners role, and that role should be accessible for these three organizations. I'm clicking on. Based on your assignment here, you will be able to take the security of these organizations. If you're not giving a cost center but you wanted to restrict this role at cost center level, you will not be able to do that. If you wanted to do that, you need to actually add a cost center here. If you wanted to restrict at supervisory organization level, supervisory must be selected. Now, since we have created people operations administrator and it is actually taking those and submitting this one, the role that we have created is created in the system. What is the next step that we need to do once we have a role? We need to attach this role to role-based security group that we wanted to create. For that, create security group. What is the security that we need to take? We will be taking constraint security that we can restrict access. People operations, and then I'll take role based that it is easy to identify. Take the role that you are assigned people operations partner. Right. We will be attaching that role here, and here you will be playing around with the security. Applies to current organization only. When you select this one, only to the current organization it applies. It will not look for top, it will not look for bottom, only the current organization it will look. Applies to the current organization, unassigned subordinates. When you have a superior organization and still you have not assigned any subordinate organizations, but subordinate are created but not assigned. When you have such kind of things, you can actually select this one. Applies to current organization and all subordinates. When you have a hierarchy with organization and subordinate to all the subordinates, it will be applicable. At organization and subordinate level to level, which level you wanted to actually grant access. You will be selecting this and you will be selecting the number. Which level of organization that you wanted to restrict the security. Since now we wanted to test this at the organization level, I am selecting assign organization, current organization and assign subordinates, or I can go with current organization and all subordinates. That will give clear this thing. Now my role-based security group is ready. All I need to do, I need to give the permissions. I have created a role and I have this role to role based security group and select an option access right to organization. I have selected the permissions to current organization and all the subordinate organizations. Now, in order to assign permissions, what I need to do? I need to go to Security Group, maintain domain permissions for Security Group or curve. I have given all access to modifiers. Well, obviously we also need to get it. Now what I need to do when I make security changes in order to become those security changes effective? What I need to do once I make any security changes? What should I do when I make security changes? I need to activate that security, which is important, without which you cannot get those permissions effective. Activate pending security. I'm activating this role will have all the permissions that are required. Now we have permissions. What we need to do now? We need to assign the security role to that person. We will go to same choice. We will remove the security what we have assigned that. Since we are playing around with the same security, I will be removing user based security group. Now she should not have access to any other information. Now Joyce should have access to view the company. Under Workday HRIS Supervisor Organization, we have 3 members: Amit, Amy, and David. Joyce should have access to only these 2 members, and she should not access any other employee information. What we need to do? We need to provide constraint access to Joyce only for Amit's organization. Then we will go for testing company information also. Based on company also, we will try to test. Now go to Joyce. I'm selecting the supervisor organization people operations partner. Now Joyce should have permissions to access those three team members. Amit, Amy, and David Corey. Those are the three team members from Amit's organization. She should have access to view only these three team members, but should not have access to view any other employee information. I'll try to proxy and test this. Now first we'll try to take Scott. Scott is not a member of Workday HRIS Amit's organization. She should not be able to see anything related to Scott. Not seeing anything. Compensation is not there. Nothing related to personal, nothing related to contact. Share contact information. By default, every user will have. Nothing related to job, nothing she is seeing. Scott, she's not able to view any information. Compensation, at least tab you don't have, because she does not have permissions to that. Now when I go for David Corey, who is part of Amit's organization, she has all the information for David Corey. She's seeing all the job information. She's seeing all the tabs here and job information. Able to view all the job details, job history, everything she's able to view here. She's also having compensation access. Compensation is there. It will be popular for David Corey. Compensation is not assigned. That's the reason why she's not seeing. But compensation tab is there. Based on that, she should be able to see. Personal information access she is having, and you have an add option. She can add the personal information, all the access she has. But if I go to any other employee other than Amit's organization, let's say Logan McNeil, if I take Logan McNeil, she should not be able to view that because Logan McNeil is not part of Amit's organization. You should see everything blank. Nothing should be populating. She's seeing blank. No summary. No summary. You're not seeing any summary. No overview. Anything that you're not seeing. No personal information. No compensation information. Everything you're not seeing because George does not have access to view other employees. She is restricted at company level. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.